merriment.
Survival for expats.
In the concrete forest.
On Friday nights.
Hi guys, and welcome back to You Can't Sit With Us. This is the weekly show where we get wasted. On the show tonight, we will be talking about Free Kesha. As you can tell, I am not joined by Cassie. Unfortunately, she is in Malaysia, but I am joined by the marvellous, incandescent, hilarious Danny Higginbotham. Oh, and Bloomy Girl. That is important to mention. She's a Bloomy Girl.
A lot. You can't see, but they're blue and sparkly. Oh, and a haircut too.
You're more of a Bloomy Girl than I am. Today we want to talk about the Kesha trial. If you've been living under a rock or if you're not really interested in pop culture, which I'm generally not, like I don't know a lot about celebrities, like you can line a bunch of brown-haired girls in a row and tell me which one's the Kardashians, I would not know at all. Like I'm not into celebrities at all. But this caught my eye. So basically this is the thing. Kesha has been working for this guy called Dr. Luke who works for Sony Records since she was 18. She's 28 years old now, so she's already been working for 10 years for this guy. In that time, she has reported and said he has roofied her and drugged her. She woke up naked and alone and couldn't remember a single thing, even though she had only had one drink of the night. Since then, she's been saying that she has also been repeatedly verbally abused, telling her that she had to go into rehab. She went on mad diets and just had like a lot of like mental
anguish.
Yeah, like she did not have a good time. So she brought up this case being like, I want to get out of my contract. I don't want to work with my rapist. I don't want to do this anymore. I finally got the strength to do it. Please let me get out. And then it was like going on for a while. That's why we haven't really heard a lot from Kesha and her music recently. And the judge turned down and said, no, there's not enough evidence. You have to still work for your rapist. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of backlash on social media. A lot of people are like, good, because why should you falsely accuse a guy when he hasn't done that? I'm like, well, why should a woman have to work for a rapist?
And the thing that pisses me off the most is a lot of people say Kesha's lying because of this deposition from 2011 when she said that Dr. Luke did not do those things.
Yeah, when she had to...
People don't realize she was probably scared shitless that the thing that is happening to her right now would happen.
Yeah. And I would also like to, throw in my professional view, since I literally was a sex therapist. Like, I worked for a company called STAR, which is called Surviving Trauma After Rape. The amount of cases I had to deal with, which came from people that originally said, no, this person didn't do that, or they minimized, like, what this person did, like saying, oh, it wasn't that bad, maybe it was like this. It's huge because people that are rapists, people that do sexually abuse, people that physically abuse, sexually abuse, and mentally abuse people are often very clever people. They're very charming at the beginning, they manipulate you, and they also are very, very good at asserting their power, which is why they seek it. This is why they are rapists. This is why they are abusers. They seek power. And so they see a vulnerability in you and they take it. So when Kesha's saying, oh yeah, I said I didn't do it, she was probably put under an enormous amount of pressure. She was probably like bullied into doing it. And that's happened so many times and times again before. Like I worked with so many women that were like, he told me to say, like they'd originally go to the police station, a case would be started, and then the rapist would call them. They're allowed to call them because there's no restraining order just because you have an accusation. So they'll call them or they'll turn up at their house, they'll harass them, and they'll be like, hey, this thing's happening. I don't want you to do that. Can you just say it's not happening? This is damaging me because I'm a poor guy. I just wanted to have sex with whoever I wanted and didn't even care if they said yes or no, and I just wanted to do whatever the fuck I want. And that is an extremely damaging, extremely dangerous, and extremely detrimental view and thought process to have. So there's been a lot of backlash on Kesha, and I think actually a lot of it has come from other celebrities being like towards each other, which really derails the actual conversation. Like, Taylor Swift got brought into it, and I think Taylor Swift should have done more, but like she's not the like pariah of feminism. Do you know what I mean? Like she says she's a feminist in music and stuff like that, and she gave $250,000 to go towards a case, which is huge. That's great. But it'd be great if she released a statement to say why. Like, Kesha, I understand what you're going through. here is some money to all that.
Well, I understand the reason why Taylor Swift initially got dragged into the conversation was because she throws it around. She throws feminism around.
Yeah, girls helping girls, girls helping girls.
I'm not a Taylor Swift fan because I think she only uses feminism to advance her career. I think she only uses it when it's convenient for her. So I understand why she got pulled in the conversation, but it's true that the main focus of the conversation should be Kesha. And Lady Gaga's actually been doing some pretty cool stuff
she really
as far
has.
as,
And did you see at was it the BAFTAs or the Grammys or the Emmys?
Adele
was awesome. She won an award, went on stage and was giving this show speech. She was like, free Kesha.
You know why that was especially cool? Because she's with Sony.
Wow.
Adele is signed with Sony. Yeah.
I had no idea. That is really cool. Yeah, that is really cool. So we'd like to hear your thoughts about this. Like, do you think she was lying? Do you think like she should be freed? I'm so on the case of Kesha, and I posted this on Facebook, and some people were like, yeah, but like, what if this damages Dr. Luke's reputation?
Who gives a fuck about that guy?
What, like they're like, how would you feel if this was your dad or your brother? And I was like,
how would you feel if this was your daughter or your sister?
Exactly. Like, how would you feel if someone that you loved, your daughter, your sister, your mother, was like, oh, this person did this, but I'm too scared, I'm too embarrassed, and I'm too ashamed of the outcome and the backlash that I would get, because that's what happens. People are like, she's a liar, before they're like, hey, what about this guy? What about if he raped someone? I don't think that's good.
Yeah.
They go to the victim blame. They're like, well, what was she doing? What was she wearing? Was she drunk? Well, Kesha's kind of a wild child, so maybe it did happen and maybe she just doesn't remember. And I'm like, not the point.
Look at the pictures released from a trial. Well, it's not a trial, it's a preliminary injunction. So that doesn't mean that it's set in stone. It means that there's going to be a very long and drawn out trial. And the preliminary injunction basically says, hey, let's get this done right now. We're losing so many viewers for talking about this.
I know.
Who cares? And it's gonna. But you look at the pictures, and she's having a mental breakdown, and I can't understand how someone can look at those pictures and see her sobbing, and think that she's making it up.
Yeah.
Like
she's not sobbing because she's like, oh, I have to make 3 more albums and make so much more money.
6.
No, but wasn't it 6 in total that she had to make? It wasn't 6 additional.
I don't know. Everything that I've said says 6. So I don't know. I really don't.
I think she has to, because I think she's made 3 so far, so she has to make another 3 albums, which would be about, if she cranked it out, it could be like another 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But
working with your rapist,
like, if she made these extra albums, it'd be like, wow, I make more money. I don't want to work with someone that I find so annoying. That wouldn't be the case. Sorry, like there's like fluff flying around. She's crying because she's working with her rapist. Imagine doing that. Imagine working with someone who disrespected you in such a way that you feel defiled, ashamed. You can't look at yourself again. You can't form relationships with other people again because you're so damaged from what this person has done and how they manipulate you. And having to see them every day is bad enough, but having them control your career,
and you're making them money. You're giving them money. Basically, you are your rapist cash cow. Jen Bond, good topic to talk about. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen Bond. We've been losing a lot of viewers because of this, but quite honestly, I'd rather have the people here listening to this than the people who are like, oh, let's just talk about titties, because we can talk about titties anytime. We can get views anytime we get.
Yeah.
I'd rather talk about something that actually matters.
You know what's happened with Kesha? It highlights the exact reason why so many women are too afraid to report rape.
Yeah.
Because I went to college, therefore I know lots of women who have been assaulted. Either actually assaulted or like nearly assaulted. And basically nobody reported it because they were like, okay, well if I report it to the campus, there's going to be like a disciplinary hearing and then probably nothing will happen. If I report it to police, I'm going to have to get my parents involved, and I don't want my parents to have to know about this. And also, I was really drunk that night and I was wearing a short skirt and like I had sex with a guy the day before, and they don't
bring these
want
things
that.
into this.
They do.
They're like, oh, but you had sex the day before, so you must be really keen to have sex with everybody.
Yeah.
Excuse me? And to be honest, I'm not like Angel Gabriel in this situation.
Yeah.
Things have happened to me before and I haven't reported them all. So I live in Samseo Po, which is quite a rough area of Hong Kong. And sometimes like guys follow me home and they follow me into my apartment building. I have to ring my 2 male housemates just so these people go away. And then they're like, why don't you just report it to the police? I'm like, what am I going to say? A guy followed me home? Like,
they'll probably
yeah,
jot it down.
It's bad and it's scary.
Nothing.
And yeah, they definitely would do something if it got to that. But I have no evidence to prove that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I go to the police, I'm like, oh, this guy was following me. They were like, well, maybe he has friends that that live in the same building. Or maybe he hasn't done anything. And the thing about rape is that you need evidence to prove it. But, like, what evidence can you really give when it's just one person's word against another? Oh, thanks, John, you literally just said like that.
Plus, if you get raped, you need to go on for a rape kit basically right away. So not only have you just been violated in the most intimate way possible, but then some medical person...
Whilst you're still trying to comprehend what has happened.
The process, some person is going to go up and it's a bit painful. Like, they're getting up into you and scraping you for evidence. And just, first you're violated, and then it's basically like you're kind of violated again. Like, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And, you know, you have these, like, MRA people who are like, oh, you know, like, 0.04% of women make up rape claims, so therefore all of it is just women making shit up.
0.04.
I made that up. I don't know. I don't know what the statistic is. Very very low.
I think it is 0.04 though.
It's very 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 low.
It is lower than 1%, and I think it is like 0.04. Like I think it actually is.
Okay, cool.
I read it on like the Huffington Post or the Washington Post or somewhere along those lines recently, and they reposted it from like an actual statistic thing. It wasn't a meme that was made, it was an actual thing.
Studies and...
So if 0.4 people make it up, that means 99.6 did it.
Yeah.
And you know how many people get convicted? 3%. 3%.
Of that 3%, even less of them spend time in jail for it. Or they'll get off on good behavior and only serve like maybe a couple of years, like...
What I found very difficult about doing my degree is like I had to work in prisons, and as well as I worked with rape victims, I worked with people that have been sexually abused, people that have been sexually assaulted, but I also had to work with the actual rapists too. So I had to go to Wakefield Prison, which is the same prison that Robert Maudsley in. Robert Maudsley is the guy that Hannibal Lecter was based on. Let's just preface that. So I went to this prison, which is a really bad prison. And I had to speak to rapists that were like, well, I wanted it, so then I got it. Like, there was glass separating us because we literally could not be sitting. As a woman, I was not allowed to sit opposite this guy in case he was going to, like, murder me. Do you know what I mean? Like, for the sake of getting inside my vagina.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wanted, because as a guy, he's been taught, like, that's what he's allowed. The fuck? And so, like, with these people, they'd speak very casually. They'd be like, so, you know, I was in 7-Eleven. We don't have 7-Eleven in the UK. I'm just making it relatable. So I was in 7-Eleven. I bought a beer. I bought a newspaper. Then I went home. I did a crossword. Went next door. Realised the door was unlocked. Fucked a baby. The mother came in. So then I knocked her over the head with a frying pan. And then I fucked her in front of the baby that was dying. And then I was like, oh, I'm really hungry. I'm going to go to McDonald's. Then I went to McDonald's. And yeah, that was pretty much my night. They'll say it in such a casual manner. And the worst thing about them is, like, there's a lot of rapists that I've spoken to. And I would want to be friends with them. Not because I think, wow, rape is so cool. It's because they are so charming. They make you believe, like you think, you talk to them and you're like, wow, I could be your friend. Like, you're actually a really cool guy. And then you always have to keep in the back of your mind, like, this guy is a rapist. This guy is a serial rapist, and not a rapist in, like, ooh, my girlfriend said no, but then I was like, I really want to have sex with you, baby. Baby, will you have sex with me? And then she was like, okay, but she didn't really want to. Like, that's still rape, because she said no, and then you're just doing it anyway.
Yeah.
But these guys were belligerent. Like, these guys were so power hungry that, like, I have no words for it. Like, it makes me so upset. It makes me so angry.
Time's up.
Yeah. Okay. So that's time's up for this segment. I'm losing my rag. I'm very sorry. We're going to talk about a happier subject in the third round because I think this is a bit deep. But Feng-John, I really appreciate all your comments and all the input that you have to say about it. I agree with everything that you're saying. We're going to go to commercial break now. We'll see you after this. Bye. Oh, I didn't see that.
I'm Cassie.
And I'm Ali Bonga, and we are the hosts of You Can't Sit With Us, the weekly show where we get wasted. We go live on Friday nights on Lojo.com at 8 p.m. So don't forget to subscribe on Lojo.
Mwah! We love you.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.